Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. You guys have been requesting me a lot to make videos on gouache landscapes, so here I am with the first one. Don't worry, if you don't have gouache, you can still try this project with poster colors as well, and it's going to turn out super pretty, I promise. So gather all your supplies and let's get started. Let us start with the supply. So I'm using 100% cotton 300 GSM paper. You can use any paper that is of 300 GSM. I'm using this designer gouache by Winsor & Newton in the shade Zinc White, Rose Tyrien Black, Winsor Blue and light purple. You can use any pink, blue and purple shade that you have with you. Some brushes, so I'm using round and flat brushes. I really like how flat brushes work amazingly for the blending, so make sure that you have one flat brush with you for sure. We need 2 jars of water, one for cleaning our brush and one for the clean supply of water, a mixing palette, a cloth or a paper towel with you to wipe our brushes, a pencil, and that's it. That's all the supplies that we need. The very first thing that I like to do is to tape down my paper on all 4 sides. And in the previous gouache video, you guys wanted me to talk about the consistency of the gouache that I'm using so that it's easier for you to understand as well. So I thought I'll take you through that process as well. So for that, I've actually taken my paints from the tube and laid it on my mixing palette as such. So they're all separate from each other so that it makes it easier for me to blend. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to my brush and start to bring the paint down to blend it and add a bit of white to it. The consistency that we're looking for is to be a little bit creamy but not too thick. So you can always work on your consistency of the paint depending on the look of the gouache that you're going for. So if you're going for something super opaque, you'll want your gouache to be a little bit more pasty like it is now. But if you're going for a more like a transparent look, you'll have to add a bit more water. So I think I forgot to film the part where I sketched the mountains, so forgive me for that, but it's basically I've just sketched monochromatic mountains one after the other. That is the look that we're going for. So just make mountains one after the other, leaving the first half of it. And for the sky, I'm going to use a mixture of light purple and rose Tyrien with a bit of white, and I'm going to blend it using left and right strokes on the lower part of my sky. And for the top part of my sky, I'm going to add Winsor blue into that purple and pink mixture that I had and add a bit of white to it, and that is going to be on my top part of the sky. And using the same left and right strokes, I'm going to blend it out, and I'm going to leave a little bit of gap in between, as you can see. And why I'm doing that is because I'll be using white to blend the 2 colors together. So I really like using white to blend the 2 colors together because it gives a really nice and smooth transition. As you can see, it turns out really smooth. So that is why I've done that. And make sure that you keep wetting your brush slightly with water so that it's easier for you to blend the colors, because gouache dries a little fast and you'll have to re-wet the paint using water. So make sure that you're wetting your brush slightly, and it also makes the blending process really easy. So yeah, keep blending. Once the sky part has completely dried, we're going to move ahead and paint the first mountain. So this mountain is really far away from the other mountains that are in front of it. So it's going to have a little bit of a darker color. And for that, I'm going to add a mixture of blue and purple together. And I'm going to lay it all over the mountain. So just make sure that you have an even spread of this color all over that surface area. While I'm trying to blend the colors together, you can see the transparent property that gouache has. It looks exactly like watercolors, but since I'm not going for a transparent look for my mountains, I'm going to add more paint to make my consistency thicker, and I'm going to lay it all over the mountain surface area so that it has like a nice and even look. Once the first layer of my mountains has completely dried, to the same mixture I'm using a bit of Winsor blue and purple, just making sure that I don't have the darkest tone of Winsor blue right now, because I will be increasing the values of the Winsor blue that I'm using as I move further ahead. So for that, I'm going to just add it at the top portion of my mountain and then blend the colors out with using white. So why I'm doing that is because I want the bottom look of my mountains to look a little bit foggy, and that is why I've added white to blend the colors out for the entire mountain surface area, leaving the top, like the edge of the mountains to have the darkest value of the color. Once the second mountain is dry, we are going to move ahead and paint the third mountain in the same process as we did before. That is to lay the surface area of the top of the mountain with the darkest tone of the color and blend it out with white. So I'm adding a little bit more of the Winsor blue value in the paint mixture, and I'm just going to repeat the process. And I'm also making these wiggly lines just to show that they are the far off trees on the mountains. So just lay it with the darker color, blend it out with white. That is the only procedure that you have to keep in mind for creating the mountains. So let's go. Once the third mountain is dry, we are going to repeat the same process. Just this time I've added a little bit of black to my mixture of Winsor blue, and obviously I'm adding a darker tone of Winsor blue as well, and we're going to repeat the same process like we did before, making the mountains have these far off trees. So that is why they have a little crooked shape, and we're going to lay it with the darkest tone of the color at the top, then blend it out using white. So that's the process, and there are two more mountain shapes that we have remaining to create. So let's go and enjoy this process. The last layer, which is the closest to the observer, they're going to see the trees in a more defined shape. And that is why, using the darkest tone of my color, which is more black and lesser Winsor blue, I'm going to create these trees. And you can see that I've left them hanging in the air at this point, but don't worry, I'm going to cover the entire bottom part with the black and Winsor blue mixture, the darkest color at this point. And yeah, so they're going to look like they're on a mountain, and you can see the trees. So that is the look that we're going for. So let's create some trees. For the top and the right side of my painting, I thought of adding these branches as well. So just imagine that you're standing here, you're seeing this view, and there's a tree next to you which is really huge, and it has some branches coming from the top and the right side in your view. So that is what I wanted to create. So I went ahead and added a few branches and some leaves. So that is what we're going to create now. So follow me along and create some branches. Once I was done creating the trees, branches and leaves, I wanted to add a bit of highlights to them as well. So for the highlights, I've created this grey color using a mixture of white, and I've added a bit of black to it. So I get a nice grey color, and I'm going to apply it randomly on the leaves where I think the light might be falling on and giving it a nice shine. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You can pick particular leaves that you like to highlight and just go ahead and add this grey color on top. There is no order here again, so just have fun. Once you're done adding the highlights, just stop and start peeling the tape. Enjoy the process of taking the tape off to reveal your masterpiece. And that's it. Here we have our monochromatic mountain landscape using gouache. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you painted along with me, don't forget to share it with me on Instagram at @thesimplyesthetic. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel for more art videos, and do share this with your friends if you think they like it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.